Okay, now that we built the 4 walls, the next thing we're going to do is put them together. We have the 2 walls and the other 2 long ones, so we're going to put them together. So what we do is we'll use this 16-inch wall and we'll butt this one on this side right here on the inside, and then we'll put the other one on the inside right here also. So we'll have 2 there, and then we'll do the last wall right up here. So we'll have all the 4 walls together glued on. After we do this, what we'll do is we'll put a 45 right here brace, so that way it'll hold it in place and it doesn't move. And we'll also put our double plate up on top so it stays all together. So let me show you that one on the next step. This is what that looks like right here. You see the 45s, they're glued on so the house will not rock or move. It's bracing it. And then if you noticed here, we put another extra plate on top so that way the 2 walls will join together. And keep in mind all these pieces will be cut, so that way you just put them all together and you won't have to hassle with figuring out the measurements. So this is what our 4 walls should look like right here. Okay. After we get to that point, we're going to work on the floor. Now we're going to work on the 2nd story, and this right here is your floor for your 2nd story. I'm going to show you how to do that, but this is what it's going to look like when it's done. Okay, you got your blocks right in here, and you have your pieces, sticking out all the way out for your porch. The way it's going to go is on top, we're going to put one here, like this, and then we put the other ones, which would be sealing the floor joist like this, and we put the other one right here like that, and then our blocks would go in between like this. Okay, and that would be our floor. And then we start putting the top on, just gluing them on the floor system like this, all the way through, and getting it all done. This is what would be your next step, and this is what it would look like after it's completed. Let me show you. It's going to look like this when it's complete. It's all down. Now we have our floor for our 2nd story once it's complete. Notice back here. So this will be your next step. After this, we're going to start on our walls up on top. Okay, so that'll be the next step. Okay, once you do the 4 walls on top, this is what it's going to look like. So we're going to be focusing now on the 4 walls on top, but as you can see, this one's getting ready for the roof, but we'll focus right now on the 4 walls and the inside one and how it goes on top. So let me show you that part. Okay, now we're going to be focusing on the top walls, and the first one we're going to do is the back one. This is what it's going to look like. So what we're going to do is show you how it's built. First thing we do, again, bottom plate, top plate. Always bottom plate, top plate. Usually I like putting my headers on next, so that way I know where my trimmers are going to go. So my header going all the way across from one point to another point. Keep in mind that the wider the distance is, the header gets bigger. Okay, but in this case we always use the same material since talking about cutting up the pieces. So on the end, you're going to put, instead of putting 1 stud, I usually like to go with 2 in the corner, only because it gives it more room to nail it on, glue it on the sides. In real life, you'll have more to nail on for a corner piece. So you have the header on, the 2 studs, and all you need is the trimmers inside to hold up that header. So when the wall tilts up, it'll hold it up. And you're done with your back wall. Very simple. Okay, like I said, these measurements are all going to be cut, so that way you don't have to really cut anything, and it'll be just gluing it together. Again, the way you want to glue it together is, usually I'll glue the header first, and I'll bring these 2 in, and then I'll bring in my trimmer, and I'll do that on the other side, and I'll glue this one on last. Always try to make sure that when you do the corners, they're straight. Okay? You might use a square. I'll show you what that is later. And that's it. Your wall's done. Okay? That's the first wall. Okay, the next wall that we're going to build is the side one. This is the next wall. So let me show you how it's going to go together. Okay, I'm going to take it apart. This time we have a corner piece there, California. And we'll take it apart. Again, top plate, bottom plate, open it up, okay? We have a corner post over here, almost like a header. And then we have 1 stud right here on this side. And I'll put 3 more studs in here. Studs again are 16 inches on center in real life. Then this is going to be for our inside wall. That's why we're making California here, where you have a little thicker. You could put 3 if you wanted to, but in real life you try to save material. So then you have that, and then this is going to be our porch, our balcony area right here, and we have our cripplers right underneath it, or in this case it'll be our rails. And there you go. That's going to be our side wall. The way you'd want to glue this one, it'd be the same way. I'd probably glue all these pieces on first and then put this one on last. You always want to put the one that has less on top last. Okay, and then you're done with that wall. Okay, this is going to be the other side of the wall. And we're going to put a window on this one because it's going to be in the where it's going to show the roof on the other one. It's going to be on the side, so it's going to be in the way. So this is almost the same thing. You have this right here, but on this right here where we had 3 studs, we're just going to put a window here. Right? So the way to build this one, again, let me take it apart. All right, again, we start with the bottom plate and the top plate. Okay, I'll put my post in the corner, and then I'll put my header, and then I will start putting in my studs. 1 in the corner, 1 in the side, the other side, and then this is going to be for my inside wall that you're going to see a little later. And you have your cripplers. Usually the balcony or the cripplers seem to take the longest because you have to be very careful and just take your time. And that will be your other side wall. We will have all the X's and O's, so that way you know exactly where everything goes, and you would just have to glue it. On this case here, again, I would always try to get the piece, my top plate or my bottom plate that has less to glue on top. In this case, I have a lot here, so I'll probably glue this one last. But you can do it in any way you want to once you start figuring out, you know, what is difficult and what's easier for you. So this will be your next side wall. Now this is going to be our front wall where the balcony side is, and this is really going to be our balcony area. This is the way the wall is going to look like, and let me show you how it's going to go together. It's almost like Legos, putting it together. That's pretty much what a house is. Okay, the first thing, again, bottom plate, top plate. You have them both together, open it up, okay, corner post, and we have a header all the way across, and to hold up the header again is the trimmers. You have the trimmers on each side, and the rest would be just the cripplers or your balcony area. You can put as many as you want, but in this case we just put in what looks good, and that will be your last wall. Now you have your 4 walls built, and we're going to put those together. Okay, we had the 4 outside walls, but there's one inside wall that you'll see when we start putting the house together, and this is what it is. We're just putting on a door, and that's it. The door's a little wider because it'd be like French doors where you have 2 double doors. So we made it wider so that way in the dollhouse people can put their hands in there and put things that they want to put in there. So this is the wall that's going to be. As you can see, it's like a regular door, real easy to do. And let me show you. By this time, I think you have a very good idea of how it goes together. And this is how it'll go together. Again, bottom plate, top plate. Okay, you put your header. You start putting all your studs. And after your studs are put in, got to hold that header up with your trimmers, and you're done. Keep in mind, if this was a window, all we had to do is just put the bottom, a couple cripplers, and it would be a window. If you want a window in there, but most likely you want to put stuff in there. So that will be your inside wall for the top. And now we have the 4 walls on the outside and the inside one. Let me show you how all that is going to go together on the double plate. Okay, now putting the walls together. In the bottom, if you notice, we had 4 walls, and this would be the top of the walls. Now, you want to glue them on the side, but on the top part, we're going to put a double plate. In real life, the reason for the double plate is 2. You tie 2 walls together, and it gives it more strength for the roof. When you have 2 of them like this, it's more strength for that roof to hold on the top. So what we're going to do is, this would be the top of the 4 walls in the bottom, and what you want to do is you want to overlap right here in the end. So in this case, you want to cover up that line per se, or tie this wall together like 2 hands grabbing each other like this. So you would not want to glue it like this. You'd glue it like this all the way through, like this. And like I said, these pieces will be cut. So you would go from here all the way to here, going across. Same thing over here. You do the same thing going this all the way across. Okay? So that's how you would do it. Now on the second floor, we're going to have an extra wall inside where that door is going to be, and it's going to be like this. So you do the same thing on your tying in the walls. The wall would be tied in all the way going across from one side to the other side. This would be jumping in, and this would be jumping over here, and it would be like this. Okay? This next one would be over, crossing this way, all the way across to here, and the same thing over here, and then we would just fill in the middle right here. So it'd be something like this. Same thing over there, jump it over, same thing here, cross it over, same thing here, cross it over, and then we would just put a piece in the middle in there. Okay, that's how we're going to tie in our walls. Like I said, the most important thing is tying them together. Okay, and once you got those walls together, then I'll show you now the roof. We will have all the walls, first floor and second floor done. All right, on this one here, when you have the 4 walls together, on the bottom, you can start gluing your top walls, and this is what it's going to look like. The main thing is when you start putting them together, that double plate that I was talking about, how this wall ties in with this one over here, it overlaps, and then this one will overlap, and then you got this last, piece as a filler. Same thing on the top. When you put the 4 walls together, this piece will overlap on this wall here, this piece will overlap on this one here, and then a filler goes in the middle, and that's what it would look like. And then you have the inside wall right here as the door, as you see it, the way you were doing it. We have the window over there, no window here, and then you have the porch area there, or of how your front wall is made, and you're pretty much done at this point. Now you're ready to do the roof, and the roof, we're going to do it conventional way. There's 2 ways, trusses and conventional. So basically, one piece at a time is the conventional, and that's exactly how we're going to build it. Okay, makes it a little easier for us. Okay, as far as the angles. So we're going to put 2 pieces up here and one going across, but I'll show you that. But you have all your structure of your walls made. So we're going to have a roof here and a roof here.